Good morning. Peter Thiel says in his book 0 to 1, it is better to risk boldness than triviality. And immediately that's followed up with a quote that a bad plan executed is better than a good plan every day. Jordan Peterson, he says it even more bluntly than that. If you wait until you're ready, you'll be waiting for the rest of your life. I spend an exorbitant amount of time talking about goals this time of year, from Thanksgiving until Christmas. My clients hear it. You guys hear it. I post it everywhere. Everyone knows I'm not a fan of New Year's resolutions because those are positioning goals. They're not real goals. They're resolutions. They're things we might like to do. They're things we know we should do. And everybody's doing it this time of year, so it's easy to throw them together. But the execution is where things fall apart, where things die. I'm going to read something real quick that I wrote this morning. I intended to make it a post and decided to turn it into an entire episode. What is your impossible tasks? Every one of us has one. Things we know we're supposed to do, things we know we should do, things we have a feeling that we should do. Some people call this a calling. Some people call this I'm compelled to do this. In the churches, it's similar to that. It's God's laid this on my heart, whatever your belief is. That thing that you've been avoiding, that you know you should do, that you could do, but you haven't done anything about. That's your impossible task, and it always starts ugly. Most people don't fail because they aim too high. They fail because they never start. They're waiting for the perfect plan. They wait for the right timing. They wait to feel ready. This is me too. This has been me in the past. We wait out of fear. We wait out of hesitation. We wait out of belief. Doesn't matter what the reason is because that day never comes. A bad plan executed beats a perfect plan that never leaves your head every time. I already quoted Jordan talking about if you wait until you're ready, you'll be waiting for the rest of your life. It's action that creates clarity. It's not the other way around. Competence comes after movement. You don't decide yourself into competence. You don't think yourself into experience. It's not how it works. Nothing comes before movement. Nothing comes before action. Everything comes after that. Peter Thiel hits this several times in his book. He even talks about brilliant thinking is rare, which it is. There's not a lot of original thoughts out there. And he also goes on to state explicitly that courage is even rarer. Ideas are irrelevant. Everybody has good ideas. How many times have you heard, I'm thinking of doing this or I'm thinking of doing that? I hear at least weekly, I'm thinking of starting a podcast, and nobody ever does it. I'm thinking of writing a book, and they don't even put one line down on a piece of paper. Or worse, they put one or two lines down on a piece of paper, go right back to their lives and feel like they've accomplished something, when in actuality, all they did was pretend to start. Ideas don't matter without execution, even though the thinking about them feels productive. It feels like you're doing something. I know Frisella talks about this, and I know other people say this too, but he's the one I heard most recently. He's like, nobody really cares how hard you're working. They only care about the results that you're producing. And that's true with your family. It's true with your lifestyle. It's true with the freaking electric company, for that matter. You can't pay your bills with worked really hard last week. You have to pay your bills with actual production. Implementation is what actually changes things in your life. And over planning this implementation will kill your dreams every time. While you guys are still polishing a framework, those people, those wealthy people, those people that act on things, they've already started with their idea and failed more times than you'll ever figure out before you got started. They have experience now in the same idea you did while you're still thinking about what you're going to do to get started. High performers and billionaires are not smarter than you. They just work faster. They implement faster. They fail faster. They're not afraid to make mistakes. They're not afraid to look foolish. And they've been wrong more times than you ever thought about being right. That's it. That is the secret. You can write that down. You can take it home. You can do whatever you want. But it's not pretty. It's not fancy. That's all it is. This is not a new concept. This has been talked about for millennia. Scripture nailed this years ago. This is Old Testament level. Isaiah 6:8. During a war, God needs a warrior, and he makes his calling. Who shall I send? This is an impossible task, and if you want to get the exact context, go read it. But Isaiah stands up and says, here am I, send me. He doesn't think about it. But what he said is important, obviously. He's willing to fight an entire army for what he believes, and that's a whole nother situation to unpack. But he didn't hesitate. He answered, and he ran immediately into the service of that impossible dream that he knew was his to capture. He didn't say, let me think about it. He didn't say, oh, let me get ready. Let me plan the best way to do this. Let me work this out for the next 6 months, and then maybe I'll figure out how to defeat him, and then I'll show up. That's not what happened. Here am I. Send me. That was his answer. I'll go now. I got no plan. I got no idea. You need my help. Fine. Where? Modern analogy to this is whenever somebody that you respect says jump, you ask how high while you're already on the way up. Should you follow other people this closely? Not necessarily. You can follow your own dreams this much. If you have a dream and a calling and a presence in your heart and in your head of something you need to be doing, you need to be asking yourself how high after you've already jumped towards that goal. I'm a very self-motivated, self-driven person. I dislike authority with intensity. And I talk about leadership a lot too. I don't think leadership comes from a title. I don't think it comes from anything other than being an effective leader. People follow you because they want to, not because they have to. You can be your own leader. You can be as hard on yourself or as soft on yourself as you want to. Now I want you to picture this for a second. Not dying broke, not failing publicly. I want you to picture dying with your full potential still locked inside of you. Lying on that bed, knowing these are your last breaths, knowing what your heart's been telling you all these years, knowing exactly what you are capable of, knowing exactly what you were called to do, and realizing that you never bothered to do any of it because you were waiting on permission that never came. A regret, it lives quietly inside of you. It does not scream. It doesn't yell at you. And it's often easily avoided by padding our lives and our brain with things that don't matter. It just follows you. And when it's silent and when it's dark and when you can no longer ignore it, that's when it starts messing with you. That's when you start realizing you are more. You are capable of more than what you're doing. You are capable of being more than what you are today. Here's your real question. What is your impossible task? Not what is your goal? What are you called to do that you've been ignoring? Or worse, just half-assing implementation on? This is your goal. This is what matters. This is where your heart is. This is what you're actually going to pursue if you'll get out of your own way. What are you actually afraid of in making that happen? Is it loss? Are you afraid of losing something by chasing after that thing that has your heart's calling on it? And this could be anything. It doesn't matter. You're not comparing yourself to anybody else. This could be just going to sleep in peace without worrying about where the money for your bills are going to come from next day. This could be being able to take your kids on vacation and go to someplace besides grandma's house. This could be quite simply not having to tell them no every single time because you haven't done enough work or you haven't made the right choices to be able to provide for them in the way that you want to provide for them. And I'm not talking about societal judgment. I'm not talking about spoiling your kid. I'm talking about creating the life that you have inside of your heart for your family, for those around you. Is it being seen, trying? Is it humiliation? Is it failure? Are you afraid of? What are you afraid of? Why have you not begun? Were you waiting on permission from somebody? Because I got news for you. That was me. And it ain't ever coming. Nobody gives a shit about you but yourself. And yes, I know we have spouses and everything else, but that's not what I'm talking about. Because nobody can reach down inside your heart, expose your goals and your dreams, expose those tasks that you believe are impossible, lay them out, look at them every day, and then try and make them happen. You might fail, but you're going to be a lot closer if you try than if you just leave them inside locked up in a box. Take whatever it is that you're afraid of. And if you don't know for sure, then guess. You'll hit a mark a lot closer than you think, and put it in front of you and think about it every day. Look at it. Because if you're going to lie to yourself about why you're not acting, at least have the decency to face the lie every day. And if it's not a lie, if it's real fear, or if there's a real obstacle in your way, you'll never overcome it without confronting it first. Because if you don't think about it every day and you don't look at it every day, you'll never figure out a way to go around it, ever. And I hate to break it to you, but this is going to add some stress to your life. It will never be easy. Scheduling time to do things that you want to do is never easy because they're the only thing that's important. They're only important to you. Your family may not understand. Your boss may not understand. Your schedule definitely doesn't understand. The timing will never be right. It will never be the correct circumstance or environment to make this shit happen. That's why it hasn't happened yet. If it were the correct circumstance and environment, you'd have already done it. You have to go out and create that. I used to have a real problem with scheduling, and even though I've controlled my own schedule for well over 20 years now, I still would hesitate to do things because I couldn't implement them the exact way that they needed to be implemented. As a result, I didn't do a lot of things, and I had a lot of dead time. I mentioned to Des the other day, I said, I really hate days like today. This was a couple of days ago because my schedule was, for once, it was working the way it was scheduled, and it was insane because I didn't really have time to get much done. I went from thing to thing, but there wasn't enough time in between to implement. It was very, very frustrating. The timing was completely wrong. And I still had all these tasks to get in. But you know what? I faced it with peace. I faced it with, faced that frustration with understanding. And at the end of the day, I knew that I'd get everything that I needed to do done because ultimately I controlled what I did throughout the course of the day. And if I let go of that control, well, I got to pick it up again. Nothing ends until you're done. Nothing ends until you stop. So my days rarely end the way they start. And that's an exception. Usually I have a big schedule. I have all this stuff done. And it used to send me into a panic because if one thing would go wrong in the morning, it creates this giant cascade effect throughout the day. And you know what? The day's absolutely going to end. The sun will rise and the sun will go down. And that time will be spent doing something. It may not be exactly what your plan was, but don't go into a panic. Just face it. Face calm implementation, do what you can when you can, and you'll find that it's enough. And you'll be able to, by the end of the day, get everything done in the order that needed to be done. As long as it's in front of you and you're facing it and you are truly implementing what you need to do, you'll make time to do everything that needs to get done. But here's the part that nobody says out loud. Once you've overcome all of that and you've reached peace about the chaos that exists in our life, once you start doing more, then you know that you can do more. So you always feel like you could have done more. And while that sounds like doublespeak, I want you to take a minute and think about it. And this is the bane. This feeling never goes away. And this is not a flaw. This is just simply growth. High performers never feel like they accomplish everything that they possibly could in one day. I never look back and go, man, I couldn't have crammed another single thing into that day. I always look and go, well, maybe I could have done just a little bit more. I need to do more. Because when you start truly embracing in your heart these impossible tasks, and yours is very personal to you, and you start working towards them, and you know that it's urgent that you move towards them as quickly as possible, you start to want to do as much as possible towards them. This is what drives you to lose a little bit of sleep, to work late into the evening, to do whatever you need to do to make it happen. These are the things that change your life, and you'll never feel like your tasks are done. You'll never be quite complete with everything. Sometimes you have to learn to lay things down and pick it back up in the morning. And that's okay. That's not failure. Only way it's failure is if you fail to pick those tasks back up again. I want you to stop sitting on your dreams. And that's what we're talking about here. I just renamed it Impossible Task. We're talking about your dreams. And remember, folks, a goal is a dream with a date on it. So you have this impossible task inside of you, this dream, this vision, this reality that doesn't exist outside of your heart. But you know that it should, and you know that it could. So you pick one thing that you would do, that you could do to make it happen today. And then you do it again. Maybe it's send the message. Maybe it's make the video. Maybe it's ship the idea. Maybe it's be willing to look ridiculous while you're doing all of this. Maybe it's write the plan. Maybe it's make a phone call. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it looks like for you. Everything that I just listed there is what it looked like for me. And yeah, even the ridiculous part. But once you start moving forward, it gets easier and it gets easier and it gets easier. And I'm going to tell you right now, folks, procrastination has killed more lives, made people dead inside than war ever will. There's no bodies lying around, but there's potential, endless potential, dead on the battlefields of our mind every day. And we look around and we watch our dreams slowly die every day. Here am I. Send. What about you? What is it that's on your heart that you're not doing? You don't have to tell me, but you need to tell yourself. You can tell me. And I would have loved to hear what some of your dreams are, what some of these impossible tasks are that are inside of you, because this is a world that I've chosen to live in years ago. And it's a lot of fun here. It's a lot of fun watching people wake up, watching people realize their full potential, watching people start to move forward on their own goals and dreams, and not simply what they've been told to do their entire life, but to create that reality that they see inside their head. And you know what? You may think you don't have this, but it's there. It's just been so pushed down and repressed over the years that nobody can even see it anymore. Maybe that light inside of you is so buried that it's impossible to see, even for you. Well, if that's the case, then you got some digging to do. But you know what? I believe in you. I believe that you can start looking and you can start seeing that passion, that drive, that lust for life that you once had. You'll find those reasons, and what you'll find is it's not buried that deeply. You see, we can't stop feeling the way that we feel inside. We can't stop those goals and dreams. We can give up on them, and they will eventually die, but they never fully go out. And when they come rushing back is when those times when we can't hide from them anymore. And unfortunately, a lot of times this is when we're forced to look at the sum of the tasks that we've completed throughout our life and realize that none of it was what we wanted to do. It was always what we were told to do. And then we have to live with the regret And we have to live with the pain of knowing that we could have been more. So I want you to have a good, deep conversation with yourself. As you have these holidays coming up, you're going to have a little more downtime than you have before. And some of you may spend that time drinking. You may spend that time with your family. You're going to spend some time with your kids over Christmas, but take some time for yourself. Take some time when your head is clear and just start by asking yourself or by answering yourself. You don't need to ask yourself anything. You know the question, but answer yourself. Here am I. Send me. Here am I. What's the job? What do we need to do? How do I make this happen? Stop qualifying everything that's in your brain against an arbitrary rule book written by somebody who doesn't give a shit about you, but happens to be chasing their own dreams and goals. And start qualifying how you live your life and how you define your life against your rule book, against your dreams, against your goals, against what you believe matters to you. And take a few minutes every day and start to craft and create that reality and that vision. And don't think about it. Just do it. You'll figure it out as you go. It's going to be hard. It's going to suck. It's going to be embarrassing. You're going to fail. It's okay. Just don't stop. Don't set a New Year's resolution that you'll follow up on for a week. Follow a dream. Follow a task. Say, here am I. And accomplish that beautiful vision that's in your head, because nobody's going to do it for you. Nobody can even see it until you show it to them. And the only way to show it to them is by creating it in the real world. I've answered the calling, and I'm looking for some folks to join me. I want to hear about your journey. I want to know what's important to you. I want to watch you struggle. I want to watch you fail. I want to watch you get up over and over and over again until your reality starts to look like that vision inside of your head. And I know this message is uncomfortable, and I know that it's paired with what I usually talk about, and I usually dress it up and try and make it easier to understand. But the reality is that nobody's ever coming to help you. Nobody's ever going to give you permission to build your own dream. Nobody's going to create your life but you. And your family is worth it. Your children are worth it. Your spouse is worth it. The life that you want lies on the other side of struggle. Victory lies on the other side of defeat. Clarity lies on the other side of exhaustion. You are capable of this. You are capable of more than what you've done to date. So figure out whatever it is. And if you can't see your vision right now, then just pick something you don't like in your life and change it. Do one thing to change it. And then do something else tomorrow. And then do something else the next day. You'll figure out what it is. Because once your brain starts realizing that you can alter your reality through the very fabric of thought acted upon, all of those things covering up that light inside of you, covering up that impossible dream inside of you, all of those things that have gotten in the way because you've been waiting forever start to move, start to reveal what's underneath and who you truly are. Here am I. Pick me. Choose yourself. Choose your dreams. Choose your goals and make your life better because of it. I love you guys. I want you to like, follow, comment, all the things so you can hear more about this. And I'm sharing my journey as I go, as I have been for the last few years. But I want to hear about yours. I want to know how you're making yours and your family's life better every single day, starting today. Love y'all. Peace.